So what we have here is a new welder. It is a Crossfire brand. TRION 250 is the model number. Not a terribly well-known brand, so I thought I'd do a little unboxing and review on it, so people get to have a little more information on this thing. So I'm going to open her up, and then we'll go in for a closer look. So, as you can see, the machine comes on a wooden pallet and everything looks okay. This is a multi-process welder. So it does MIG, stick, and TIG. And you can see here the MIG spool area and the MIG gun and everything is in there. So before we take it off the pallet, we'll have a look at all the boxes that were packed inside there and everything that comes with it. So we've got all the goodies unboxed. So we'll just have a quick look at what we got here. So manual, obviously. TIG torch, a couple of extra tips there. Spool gun, and one extra tip for that. Sorry, did I say TIG? MIG torch. TIG wand, tungsten, and a couple of cups, and the foot pedal, stick electrode holder, and the material clamp, which would be used on all processes, and two identical argon CO2 regulators and hoses, and finally a handle which attaches to the unit. So I'm going to go ahead, get the unit off of the pallet, put the handle on, and then we'll have a closer look at that. So before we talk about the new machine, I'd like to just sort of give you an idea of where I'm coming from. I am just a hobbyist. I'm not a professional welder, just self-taught, and this is the machine that I've been using for the last little while, which is a Hobart Handler 140. I also had a Lincoln 225 stick welder for doing the heavier stuff, but I really am more comfortable with MIG, and I wanted to get not only a heavier MIG, but wanted to start upping my game a little bit and trying to get into some aluminum work and trying my hand at some TIG welding. So a multi-process machine kind of made sense. And this just gives you an idea size-wise of the new machine. It's basically a machine integrated cart setup, and I don't foresee needing to be mobile with it, so that works good for me. And it is a 230 volt machine, which again might not be for everyone, but I do have that available, and again, not needing to be out in the field. 220 is no problem for me. And you can see it's a dual tank rack on the back, which is nice. You can have your CO2 or CO2 argon mix on one side, and then your pure argon on the other side for switching back and forth between carbon steels and aluminum or other materials, and they give you both of the regulators as I showed you before. So they're basically both hooked up at the same time, and just switches back and forth when you change the process on the machine. So before I plug the machine in and have a look at the menu options, we'll just have a quick look at the physical features. Got main MIG gun connection there. We've got the polarity selection and connectors for the workpiece. Pretty standard stuff. And then the spool gun connections down below here. Foot pedal connection for the TIG process. Control port obviously for the MIG process. And then front panel we'll get into after we plug it in. On the side here, obviously hangers. There's a little compartment here which I'm guessing is for some spares. Haven't quite figured out what exactly goes in there just yet, but my guess is it's spare tips or spare fuses or something like that. On the back, we have the gas inlet for the dual tank setup. One for the MIG side, one for the spool gun side. So I decided to take some time and read the manual before plugging the machine in and seeing what it does. But unfortunately, the manual, this is the first sort of negative that I've come across, is it's poorly translated from Chinese, would be my guess. But, you know, if you've ever run into that before, you know what I'm talking about. It's just, you can figure out basically what they're trying to say, but it's not very concise and pretty basic. I mean, the manual is not a very big, detailed thing anyways. So there's probably going to be a lot of figuring out on your own with this machine. So we're going to go ahead and turn it on. And this is kind of like the last setting that I had it on. When I first started it up, it went to the home screen. So that's interesting to note that it will remember the last setting you were on and go back there. So we're going to go back to the home screen. So you can see here, as I was mentioning, it's kind of the smart settings type machine. I don't know how well you can see that. There's quite a bit of glare there. That's a little bit better. So you've got 4 push buttons, 2 on each side of the screen, and then your knobs here. You actually can use the big knob on the left here to scroll through the functions. So for instance, we want to go through MIG steel, kind of the smart setting option is the first one. Then we've got MIG stainless, MIG aluminum. I don't even know what that is, to be honest. That's just showing what a hobbyist I am. And MIG manual, so that would mean you do all the settings yourself. Stick, TIG, and the main settings. Under main settings, it's pretty basic. Language settings, unit settings, brightness for the screen, and then just some basic information and a factory reset. So we'll go back to the home screen, and just a quick idea of what it can do. So under the MIG steel, you would select that, then select your gas. It quickly tells you how to set your polarity, so you would make that change on your plug, and then you can select your wire size. I think I'm running 30 right now, and you select by pushing in on your button. Gauge on your material, we'll say 12 gauge material, and then it comes up with the ready to weld screen on the sort of smart pre-selected feed speeds and voltages, and you can run with that, or you can actually change on the fly feed speeds, and you'll see that it indicates what the value is and also what it is in relation to the smart setting. So this is, you know, -2 of the smart setting, or actual smart setting, or +2 of the smart setting. And the same goes for the voltage, which you could just go quickly to your voltage knob here and make those changes on the fly. Then you can push in on the big knob, and it will allow you to scroll through to some of the other options, and you'll see that it shows you down here a couple of different settings. So scroll through, you got torch trigger, you can go in and make it 2-step, 4-step. I know a little bit about what some of this stuff means, but not enough to explain it competently right now. Pre-gas time, run in, burn back, post-gas, and then you can also save or recall if you've made some custom settings that you like, then you can recall those. And if you don't touch it for a few seconds, it goes back to the main screen. So I think that's where I'll leave it for now. I plan on doing a few segments on this machine because there's just so much that it can do, and every time I go into the menu I find some other process that it's capable of. So I'm looking forward to trying it all out, and once I get some more experience with this machine, I'll post another video. I hope that somebody finds this video helpful, and thanks for watching.